Man, look at this nonsense. Just look at it. It's beautiful. And most importantly, I'm done with it. Hello everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. So even though Cookie Clicker has existed for several years, I've never actually played the game until about 2 weeks ago. And the way that I started playing it, the way that I, found myself back on the website, or for the first time, I guess, was kind of interesting because I got an email that C418 had released a new album. And the new album was for Cookie Clicker, because apparently, I guess C418 did music for Cookie Clicker. I don't know if if it was official or otherwise, because I haven't heard any music on Cookie Clicker, but I've also had the volume set to 0, so that's probably why. But I got that email, and I was like, oh, cool, a new album. And I went and I looked, and it was for Cookie Clicker, and I'm like, oh yeah, Cookie Clicker. I've never actually played that. Let me open it up, just to look, just to see if I can hear this music. That was on my phone, by the way. So, in a Safari tab, I opened it up, and it just, when you open up the website, it just comes up, and it's like, click the cookie. And I'm like, okay, click a cookie. And then at a certain point, it's like, well, now you can get a cursor. It clicks it for you. I'm like, oh, click it. And I knew what Cookie Clicker was. I was aware that it was an idle game. But man, idle games are pretty powerful. And I've talked about this before when we've done certain first 20s that are similar to idle games. Human-like when number go up. And I'm sure that more, like there's probably specific people that are more susceptible to that concept. I tend to be pretty susceptible to that concept because I really liked when number went up. I was like, oh, cool, number went up. I like when number go up. So it became a bit of a ritual. And for the past 2 weeks, I have had a tab open on my phone that had Cookie Clicker in it. And it was kind of nice because it really didn't require a lot of time. It was just something that you would check back in on and see how it was doing. Now, what's interesting is, at least, playing it on the phone, Safari tabs are only live when Safari is the open app. What that meant is that I would only gain progress in the game when I was doing web browsing. And I don't do a whole lot of web browsing every day. I look at a few different websites in the morning, a few different websites in the evening, but otherwise I don't really do anything with it. But I found that, I wasn't really making enough progress in Cookie Clicker. So what I would do is, while I was working up here for the past 2 weeks, I would leave my phone on my desk with Safari open, just connected to power, and I didn't really have to interact with the game basically at all, but I would let it go, and so I could get more cookies, because again, number go up. It's a very compelling concept. Anyway, so I played for about 2 weeks, and I finally got to a part, and I don't think this is going to count as spoilers for Cookie Clicker, because it's an idle game, but I guess mild spoilers here for those who haven't played the game. At a certain point, you get the option to fund research for the grandmas, and you find out that the grandmas are aliens if you go far enough. And the grandmas, basically something happens where some detrimental stuff happens to your game. And it's all within the lore of the game, which is really neat, and I liked that a lot. But number didn't go up anymore. And it's not that number wouldn't go up forever. It's just that there was some stuff that happens that makes number go down. And it was so funny, in retrospect, looking back at all of this. When that happened, which was that yesterday? God, that was yesterday. When that happened yesterday, my brain, all of the juice, all of the good juice that was going into my brain from playing Cookie Clicker tiny bits over the last 2 weeks was instantly gone. it was kind of incredible, because immediately I was like, I stopped caring about this thing that I had put 2 weeks into. Immediately, I was just like, number go down. Like, I don't like this anymore. Number went down. And again, it wasn't like irreparable, but I don't know, something about that. I was like, I don't like that. Nope. So I closed the tab, and I was like, I immediately lost all interest in the game. And then this was yesterday. I came back upstairs, and I was like, you know what? I know how to get closure. So I opened up a tab of Cookie Clicker, brand new game, and I installed a extension that would auto-click everything for me. And it would click the cookie in intervals of, 1 millisecond. And that is how I got to this point here. So after doing, 2 weeks of work on and off, playing the game legit, I was like, you know what? I would like to have some closure, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I beat Cookie Clicker. I mean, basically, I don't really know where it goes from here. I'm assuming that you can probably get all of your stuff to 1,000, but at this point, I'm satisfied. From yesterday to today, so it took about 24 hours, maybe a little bit more. I was able to go from starting a new game to a million things are popping up all over the screen, and like, you did it, basically. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And this has taught me a lot because, I played, what was the game? I played a game for First 20. Forager, that's it. Forager was a game that I played, I think it was earlier this year, and I really liked it. And it is, essentially an idle game. There's more interaction to it than Cookie Clicker because it has actual game elements. But it's a game that you can play just a little bit at a time. It would be perfect for someone who is doing a 9 to 5, that you can have an extra screen up and you have enough tiny amounts of downtime that you could play it a little bit and then leave it alone. And I think it's also on the phone. But I played that and I liked it. And again, it was one of those simple things where like the concept of the game is not too complex, but number go up. And I knew then that I was like, oh, this is definitely something I like, even though I can look at it objectively and be like, the reason I like this is number go up. And it was just funny to then see that come up 2 weeks ago where I started playing this game and was like, I am definitely susceptible to this. So I'm done playing Cookie Clicker, and I know some people will be like, well, you didn't really win legitimately. And I got to tell you, I don't care. That doesn't matter to me at all. Not even a little bit. It was just about getting some closure from the game and being like, what happens at the end? And again, I haven't gotten to the very, very end, but like, as soon as I'm done recording this vlog, I'm going to close the window, and I'm happy with getting to this point. But, it doesn't mean that games like Cookie Clicker are bad. It doesn't mean games like Forager are bad. I think it's just good to be aware of specific games and why you like them, and making sure that you're not dedicating too much time to them. And in the case of Cookie Clicker, I have to hand it to it that it really doesn't require much of your time. But also, how much are you getting out of it? I don't know. That being said, I did enjoy the last 2 weeks. I immediately stopped enjoying it when number went down, but up until that point, I was on board. Okay, I'm just gonna Command W, and it's gone. Feels good. On to other things. Thank you so much for watching. Why don't you tell me about any idle games that you've played? Perhaps you've also gotten to the end of Cookie Clicker. Maybe you'll tell me that there's something after this. Be like, oh, you didn't get to the crazy thing. And I'm, again, going to say, that's fine. That's fine. And maybe, I would say to some extent, everyone is probably susceptible to this. Because, again, human-like when number go up. But, some people more than others. And it's, something I will definitely be aware of. It's both a positive and negative. It's a negative, sure, but it's also, to some extent, knowing what you like and knowing that there would be certain games that you would enjoy because of that. So I'll keep it in mind. Thanks for watching. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?